Welcome back. So yesterday I made a video about a letter writing campaign that I was underway, and so if you want to watch that, that's cool. But this is a general American National update. I did one a few months ago, and it's definitely been long enough where I can do another one. I want to sort of tell you very exciting news, but I have to be careful. Wisely, my wife, I believe, has given me good advice not to give any specifics on the agency's name because trying to keep maybe a little bit of a low profile. So, if you're really curious about the specifics of what I'm talking about, find me on Facebook and send me a private message. You can search for me by my name, David Merle, and I live in Pendleton. It'd be very simple to find me that way. I can leave a link in the description box. But without further ado, this is very exciting news. Even without the details, this is exciting. So at the beginning of the summer, I was sent a letter from an unnamed government agency saying that I owed them basically a lot of money, like $5,000. And I knew I didn't, but my wife and even I was a little bit panicky over it. But I just kept my nerve and I wrote a letter basically saying that I rejected their offer to contract, but I was going to give them a counteroffer, and I included the counteroffer. And I gave them 30 days to respond because they gave me 30 days to respond, so that seemed pretty fair. And so 30 days came and went, and I hadn't heard anything from them. So I sent them a notice of tacit agreement because they agreed with my counteroffer because they were silent. Agreement is silence. Silence is agreement. Sorry, that's a tacit agreement. Anyway, so I sent them notice of that. I sent them notice that they contracted with me because they didn't counter my counter. They made no objection to it, so I sent them an invoice. I sent them an invoice for $2,000. Now, they did not honor the invoice, but I don't care because they actually sent me a check for almost $800. No explanation, no letter. It was literally a check in an envelope with nothing else. That's pretty cool. I really don't think I'll hear from them again. If I do, I don't know why I would. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I was actually going to add that to the video I made yesterday about the letters, and I forgot. Anyway, so the main reason why I'm making this video is I really hope everybody is familiar with the Lighthouse Law Club and Mark Emery. At least everybody who follows this channel for the national, for the American National content that we produce. If you're not familiar with the Lighthouse Law Club, become familiar. Mark puts out awesome content. Most of his videos are kind of teasers to promote the actual law club, which is a subscription membership. But even with the videos being a tease for a membership, he puts out awesome information. Just great. I've learned so much. And I am part of his, I get his newsletter and I learn information from that. Just awesome information. Okay, so a few months ago he put out a video. And I've been waiting for the follow-up because he teased out some information about he's working on a project to get people out of the system. Up till now, all of his content has been dealing with how do you become invisible in the system, or how do you navigate the system so that you don't get in trouble in the courts. But he alluded to the fact that he's working on a project to get people out of the system, which is awesome. Up to now, the only credible, semi-credible source that I'm working with is stuff by Anna von Reitz. And I would say it's good. It's extremely thorough and complicated. And I still have some questions whether or not it may be valid, but I'm not sure if it's recognized as valid. To me, it matters. I want to approach this in a way that the U.S. will eventually acknowledge that I'm not part of the U.S. I'm an American national. It has to be recognized. Otherwise, even if you have all the paperwork, if it's not recognized in such a way where it makes a difference, then it doesn't make a difference. That's why I've spent almost 10 years researching, off and on, not solid 10 years, but there's been plenty of opportunity to do paperwork only to come across testimonials and witness statements that it didn't necessarily work, practically speaking, because even though it was correct, it wasn't functional, like it wasn't recognized. So anyway, so I write an email to one of Mark's administration, his administration account, and I'm sure this isn't Mark replying. It's one of his admins. So this is what I write. A few months ago, Mark made a video where he said he was working on a project to get people out of the system. Right now, my only resource is Anna, which I mentioned, and her method. I trust whatever Mark comes up with and would love to see what he would suggest. How he would suggest we get out. Please ask him to give an update on YouTube on the progress and what he plans to charge for it. I got a very short reply back. Hi David, what you are asking is already well underway. Please stay tuned for more coming soon. So that is a very encouraging. I really hope that in the next week or next month or 2 months, Mark will come out with a video, hopefully outlining what his process is. I really, really, really hope he doesn't just make it into a tease for a subscription. This is so important that I know everybody's got to make the money, but this is so important that I really hope Mark has some kind of way of disseminating this information on a economic way. Because right now his membership is like $3,000, and he was talking about one of his newsletters that he was thinking about closing membership altogether. And in my head, I'm thinking, why on earth would you do that? Why would you make it harder for people to get the information? Because he's one of the only people out there with extremely solid information, from what I can tell. And I really hope he doesn't shut his site down or close it off to new members. That would be tragic. Anyway, so let's see here. The other thing I wanted to cover was, in Mark's newsletter this last week, he brought up 2 points. Well, he brought up 6 points, but 2 of which I want to talk about. He's referring to discussions that his members have, study groups, forums, webinar meetings that they all get together and share success stories and all the stuff I don't have access to because I don't have $2,000 or $3,000 to join. But so he's referencing the ongoing effort to research and bring forth real world examples of success. So in his newsletter, one of his points he makes is a summary of these discussions. Here's a quote from the newsletter. Since the U.S. is in fact a military occupier of the land and we are in a state of war, as confirmed publicly in Congress time again, that American nationals are in position to request a government-issued ID document from the Department of Defense which identifies them as a peaceful inhabitant as opposed to a belligerent, to be, as opposed to uh, belligerent, yeah, belligerent, under occupation. Anyway, so I never even thought about an ID issued by the Department of Defense as a peaceful occupant in a way that makes a lot of sense. So I went onto the Department of Defense's website last night. I couldn't find any information on issuing an identification document to a private person. I did a search. I searched for different key terms on their website. I went through the drop-down menus, couldn't find anything. So I did send Mark his admin email address that I have. I sent them a query on that to see if I get a response. How do I get a Department of Defense identification that says I'm a peaceful occupant, inhabitant? And another point he brings out, one of his people, part of his network, has an American national passport, and they were pulled over. The officer scanned the barcode, and then the computer came back as do not detain. Okay, here's the thing. American national passport, what is that? Is that the state citizen passport that everyone has been talking about? The Moon River Distillery, whatever site about the state citizenship gives all the directions for the state passport. Here's the thing, and I can't remember what that article is called or where it's from, but what is it? Something distillery, something moonshine distillery, I don't know. Whatever it's called. The people on here who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. I did an extensive research. I mean, I thought it was extensive. I called all the local law enforcement agencies in my town. I called the FBI, both the local branch and the regional branch. Everybody uniformly said that they cannot run the passport. They would only look up the name in association with the date of birth and just pull up the standard driver's license record from that. They don't have any way of running the passport. The only agency that does have the software for that would be like Border Patrol or something like that. Immigration. Okay, so knowing that, either that's true or they just uniformly flat out lied to me, which is definitely a possibility. Knowing that the normal passport cannot be run, I really want to know. And the other thing is, the passport does not have a barcode on it. I have a passport card and I have a passport book. And they don't have barcodes. They have all kinds of numbers and stuff that I have no idea what it's talking about, but I don't remember having any kind of scannable. Oh, my computer is about to die. Any kind of scannable barcode. So I asked them about that too. If there is an American national passport with something that's scannable that the police can actually run and it comes up in their system without the name and the date of birth, bypassing the document and going straight to the driver's license record, that would be huge. So I asked them about that, and I'm really hoping I get a response the next couple of days for both of those things, and I will give you guys an update. Right now, there is so much stuff in the works from Mark Emery, from Anna, from the UK, from New Zealand. There is so much stuff in the works. If we share this information, just everybody share it. There is freedom coming and probably persecution because the dark always hates the light. But hey guys, we want to be free. We want to share this information with our friends and family so they can be free. We have to share the information. So that's where I'm at. It needs to be out there. We need to have a massive movement getting people out of the system as best we can. I want to be out of the system. I want everybody who wants to be out of the system out, because we're slaves right now, and it's just sad, but that's the truth. And freedom is better. Okay, well, that's my update. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, tips, please leave them in the comments. I have several subscribers that do a good job of doing that, and I value their feedback immensely. So please keep doing that. And any new people that see this, leave the comments. I read them and I try and respond to all of them, and I value all of them.